Wednesday evening's Fishkeeper Club. Hope everyone's well. Whew, God, it's warm in this flat tonight. It really is warm in this flat tonight. Hope everyone's had a great week so far. We have got a guest coming. He will be here around about 9 o'clock. So hopefully should be good. Should be good. Someone that does pop in a lot. So hey Dave, how you doing, buddy? So we'll wait till a few people come in, and then I will announce who that is. Oh God. Tonight I will be feeding them. Food's defrosting, so I know everyone likes a feeding session. So that'll be going on. Probably try and do that round about 8:15, I think. Just put some snowflake food in there. So just gonna wait for that to sort itself out. So how is everybody? How is everybody? Lord of the Fish, thanks for joining us, buddy. Mum, hello. Ben, how you doing, buddy? Ruben, how's it going? God, it's so warm in here. It really is warm. I'll bring my fan a little bit closer. I really say it's been that warm today in the UK. Anyway, it's not been sweltering, but this flat's retaining the heat quite massively. Hey Molly, how you doing? Hey Gaz, how you feeling, mate? So yes, we do have our guest. Our guest will be arriving around about 9 o'clock, so should be good. You've been here, chat wouldn't load. Oh really? I don't know what's going on at the moment. I really don't. It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. So I think my Corys have had babies just in the forest tank. So you can't really see him now, but that Cory there is a lot smaller than the other Corys, and they do grow pretty fast, Corys, don't they? So yeah, I think the Corys have definitely had babies recently, or not so recently, but like within the last couple of months for sure, maybe a couple of months back. Yeah, he's definitely smaller than the rest. Definitely smaller than the rest. That's nice to see. Hey Roxanne, how you doing, buddy? So yeah, the sound might be a little bit lower today, or not as crisp, obviously, because we can't have mics when we have guests on for some reason. I don't really understand that. Never really understood that. Bit of a weird one. Hey, climbing. I'm getting really bad with names tonight, guys. I am. Probably need to write a few more down, to be perfectly honest. Adam, how you doing, bud? Baby Corey's definitely going off how yours grew, Trace. Hi, Tracy, how you doing? Going off how yours grew, yeah, there's definitely a smaller Corey in there. Definitely. I don't for it. I know they were kind of breeding on a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think they've grown that fast. But yeah, we've definitely had babies. because that's a lot bigger. That's a lot bigger. Oh, I'll have a quick look at the Gara there. Getting under that green fanny there. Yeah, so that Cory there is a lot bigger than the one that I've just seen whizzing about. So hang on, let me show you. It's a lot bigger than that one there. So yeah, there's definitely been some Cory breeding action, and I've had at least one survivor, so that's good. That's nice to see. At least something's going right. Right. Hey, Carl. Nice to see the cups arrived, mate. That's really quick service. Since ordered it Sunday, come today. That's good. That's good. It's nice to see that. Nice to see. Hope you've had a brew in it, mate. Victor, how are you doing, buddy? Thanks for clicking that like button, mate. For those that are in, if you can click the like button, it does spread us to a wider audience, so that'd be really appreciated. Getting under that green fanny. Oh. Rare shot. Oh, man. Two of the Gara. So, never actually seen them both hanging around together. So yeah, that's nice. That's nice to see as well. God, what's happening tonight? We've got Cory babies and two of the Gara out together. So that's cool. That's cool. I do like them Gara. They are so good. So good. The Bowes Marley, mate. Probably around about 2 years old. My Corys aren't that size. These have grown. They grow pretty well. Not as fast as what, in all fairness, mate, not as fast as what Tracy's grow. She's got some kind of growth hormone in her water, honestly. They're just like gigantic. Absolutely. Unbelievable. Jake, good evening. How are you doing? Welcome to Fishkeeper Club. So yes, 9 o'clock, guys. Our guest will be here. Do you want to know or do you want to wait? I'll have it as a surprise for you. I don't know what to do. I'm so happy, mate. Thank you. See you, Molly. Update on some fishy business. A male who thought was male turns out to be female. Now I've got a baby sickly fine. 21 days. Wow. Is that why they were aggressive, Carl? Because there was a female in the mix. Keep them guessing. I will. That's the evil bit of Tracy coming out there, we see. So, I have a question. It's not fish related. So, if there's anybody out there bought a house, right? Yeah. Just a quick question is, when you're buying a house and you put an offer in, how long does it take the estate agent to contact the person who owns a house to tell them of that offer? Does anyone know how long that normally takes? Because I feel like this company are taking the piss out of me, to be perfectly honest. How many Java ferns did you originally buy? One in the background. One, mate. One. And what I do when you get the little plantlets growing, I snip them off and then kind of tuck it under the other rhizome, and it just goes like over time. You get a mega bush. And, yeah, that's kind of what I've done, mate. cover your ears if you don't. I want to know. No, you're gonna have to wait, mate. You're gonna have to wait. Oh, the guy were really like hanging around with each other. That's good. That's good. Yeah, Evil Tracy, mate. You know the score. How do I know which of my silver dollars is male and the other female? To be perfectly honest, Jakes, I've never had silver dollars, mate. If anyone else can answer that, I'll be honest, I don't know. I don't know, mate. But that's what Fishkeeper Club's about, isn't it? Someone may have had silver dollars in the past. Something I've never had, so like never researched. It should be straight away. He can't make it till 9. If that's what you're on about, mate. He can't make it till 9. But I've always said like no one has to stick for the 2 hours, you know. 2 hours is a bit of a slog in it if you're not used to doing lives as well. So yeah, that's definitely a young quarry for sure. That's cool. Hey Sam, how you doing, buddy? If I missed, I'm just going and backtracking, and I don't know. I can't remember what I said. My head's in a bit of a mixed up state tonight. You know what? That's why. Normal 24 hours. Right. So yeah, sorry. That's yeah. Sorry, my head's a bit mashed up today. So Monday afternoon, I found out that my first offer on this place had been refused. So I upped my offer. So this is Monday. I upped the offer, and they told the guy who owns it this morning. Kind of feel like they're taking the piss, to be perfectly honest. So there's someone coming viewing the flat tomorrow, and I'm trying to buy it. So I've thrown a spanner in the works and said that they won't be able to get here till 6:30 because they won't finish work. So yeah, I thought it'd be like pretty much like okay. I didn't expect her to do anything Monday evening when I told her, but like Tuesday morning, I expected them to pass the offer over and say right, he's put an offer in of this. But Wednesday is like, hang on a minute. You just that to me, that's just like 36 hours later is just like not good enough. So when she turns up here tomorrow evening, I will be quizzing her about it on the lack. So the first offer didn't get put to the owner till after a week. Pulled her on that already. 36 hours, just don't think it's good enough. They string it along to get more money. My friend's selling in the estate agent will take. So this is what I think, Ben. But the problem is, mate, it's like I really do need to buy this. While I'm showing it to other people, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not good. It's not good. I don't want to be beaten to it at the end of the day. It's just been like, it just feels like a total, like, underhanded thing that they're doing. It's disgraceful. Mr. XYZ, my angelfish is cool. Yeah, mate. There's 3 of them in there, and they're all pretty good, to be perfectly honest. They are all pretty cool. They are all pretty good. And good evening. Welcome to Fishkeeper Club. It seems to get a better offer. Just playing off. Yeah, that's what I feel, Adam, yeah. That's what I feel. It's just not on. It's just not on. You know, they want to play a dirty game. That's fine. I can play a dirty game. What they seem to forget is I live here. I live here, and I say who comes through that door. So, and I also have a say of what goes on outside that door as well. So, if they want to sell the flat to someone else, I'll just get a load of people hanging around outside, making it look like a bit of a dive, all smoking weed. And I'll just put people off. So, if you want to play a game, you're playing the wrong one, because I will play that game all day long. There's loads of lads that hang around here. So, like, lads, buy you 20 cans of Stella. I want you all to smoke weed in the doorway there. Want to play a game? Okay, then. Play dirty. Yeah, I agree with that, Adam. Yeah, I should have got first refusal, mate. Yeah. I got a phone call off my estate agent saying that the flat were up for sale. And like, seems like I was the last to know. I was the last to know. The owner, in all fairness, in my opinion, the owner should have rung, saying I've been here for 20 years. The owner should have rung my estate agent because I need his phone number, I need to talk to him, and given me first refusal before it even went up for sale. I think it's a real, like, proper dirty trick. Rusty Rivers. How you doing, buddy? Now, I know Rusty Rivers. I know Rusty Rivers through Molly's channel. So because you go in Molly's channel, mate, and I know you can be trusted, I'll put you up to a fully fledged Fishkeeper member. Hi, Dane. How you doing, buddy? More they sell it for, more commission. This is it. I'm going to end up having to give asking price. It's just, yeah, I know, Adam. My head's just like proper mashed. My head's proper mashed. It's been a mad day. I've had to, honestly, where I work is like proper not, it's not a good area. I've had to keep my van running all day because the starter motor was going. I didn't want to break down. There's no way I want to break down during the day. So I've had to keep the engine running, and it's just been an absolute nightmare, mate. I actually asked the question and then forgot I'd asked the question. Yeah, that's where my head's at. Hey, Will. How you doing, buddy? Give Dr. Evil 5 treats for me. Yeah, 5 treats. That's how you end up with big cats, man. Big old bellies. Although my Dre used to well take the mick with Dreamies, to be perfectly honest. He had a jar with Dreamies, and I'd be pouring packets in, and I couldn't pour any in because his head would be in the jar, munching away. 1.5. Oh, mate, splitting dog treats and that, and cat treats, mate. It's a crime, innit? You lost both your archer fish yesterday. Oh, mate, what happened there, Sam? Because they're cool as well, aren't they? I wouldn't mind archer fish. Something I don't really know much about. Or only what I saw on MD when he was training is to feed. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yes, Ben. Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate. Yeah, yes, mate. I can't see your chat. Have I missed? I don't know what's going on. I haven't seen anything from you for a bit though, mate. But I have seen that. Oh, Spotify actually. That's what I want to. Came down and on to feed them. They were both on the floor. Oh no, 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 no. That's mad, isn't it? So they tried the Great Escape. Is it just me, or did I press something wrong? You're not in full screen. No, mate. I don't do full screen, mate. I do it vertically because it drops you into the shot. It drops you into the shorts, mate. So you get more people coming in. Martin, how you doing, bud? I really don't think Dr. Evil's starving you. Leave it. Thinking of just having one just before they come. I've told him 6:30 anyway. So that'll mess with her head as well because she lives like an hour's drive away from here. So, but in all fairness, the traffic in Bury's horrendous at the moment. So I've not been getting into R5, and I'm not getting home from work and having someone here waiting to have a look at my home to try and buy it. I want to come home, have a shower. Simple as. It's not too much to ask. So they'll have to work around me. I'd message you and put your offering with him. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get his phone number there, Carl. To be perfectly honest, because he's just taking the piss. It makes me wonder if they've even contacted him regarding the first offer, because they did question that. I was like, "What's happening?" It was after a week of hearing nothing back. I questioned it, and she was like, "Oh well, what it is, my boss. The boss has been away, so we've not been able to make the offer." And I was like, "Are you telling me that when your boss goes on holiday, the whole company grinds to a halt? Not having it. Just bullshit. Just BS. Complete BS." You might accept without the agent fees. You never know, Will. You never know, mate. I need to talk to him. I won't be having a coffee when I come home from work anyway. I won't be giving him that fresh coffee smell for sure. You've poo in the toilet. Definitely gonna start playing dirty tricks. I've already told her if they don't get their act together, I'll just refuse them coming in. What can they do? Simple as that, isn't it? Because to be honest, I was waiting for it to say, "Well, it's alright, I'll come in because we've got keys." Because then I'd have gone, "Who's giving you a set of keys to my flat?" As far as I'm aware, there's only 2 sets of keys. Mine and the estate agents. And if the estate agent's passing them over, I should be one notified on it. But I've already got something in plan for that anyway, if they do that. So it's just, it's just naughty. Tell them you're withdrawing your offer. And the thing is, mate, I don't want to. I've took Monday off work to go and sort out a mortgage. So I need to know by Monday. Hey Dutch, how you doing, buddy? Slim King sat in front of his guppy rack watching this. Nice, mate. Nice. That's what we like to see. Hey Nibs, how you doing, buddy? It's just like they kind of know. She knows already that it'll be a nightmare moving out of here. 6 tanks to move. It'll just be horrendous. Don't let anyone in the flat. Oh yeah, they'll have to wait. They'll have to wait around. Simple as. Simple as. If you want to start playing a dirty game, I can play dirtier. Just simple as that. Hey, Pokes. How you doing, bud? Is it listed as guide price or asking price? I don't think it's just listed as price, mate. I think, I'm quite sure. It's just, I think it's just been really like underhanded. Really like underhanded how it's been done. That's why they're delaying your offers. Yeah, mate. Just dirty tricks. Dirty tricks. Two-bedroom house on Fletcher Street for 80k. Damn. It's just the moving, Will. It's the only reason I'm buying. It's just the moving. 6 tanks to move. It'll just be horrendous. It'll just be horrendous. And it'll just destroy what I've grown with the channel as well. Hey Peter, how you doing, buddy? I bought 2 houses, both the best offers for the deadline. Yeah, but I think that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Got a deadline by Friday. I need to know because I need to go and sort them out. I've kind of already been agreed a mortgage, but I want to go in the bank and just kind of talk it through. See what the score is, because I've never bought an house before. It's not like going in a shop buying a fish tank, is it? Technically. What do you mean, Dutch? Damn stupid super chat. I don't get it. I'm going fish shopping tomorrow. Oh, what are you getting, Gaza? My dad's a registered barrister. Who is he, Ben? Surely I have rights anyway. Surely. Wasn't able to join for a while. No, I thought actually, mate, I've not seen you for a bit. Hope everything's okay your end, mate. Hey, Martin's birthday tomorrow. Big 49, man. Big 49. Damn. What you doing then? What you doing, Martin? Are you out? Are you out? Has your wife bought you a new tank? And happy birthday for tomorrow, mate. I thought that's why I put a low offer in. Thought I'd count for something. Pay more than low. I know I should have. It just gets a bit depressing. Do you have any way to check if you received by 6 hours super chats inside the page? But it didn't show up for some reason. It's not come through on me, mate. No. Dutch, no. Nothing's come through, mate. Because it comes up in a chat that you've donated, and it comes up on. I get a list of amounts that come up there, mate, and then you get banged and entered into the draw. Guys, if you notice, what would you choose? see what people say. Too old for parties. You're never too old for parties, mate. Never too old. Ted Cichlids. Good evening, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Got a parrot seawater and it's got 4 tanks. Nice, mate. What size tanks you got there, Ted? I do like a crypt myself, to be perfectly honest. As you can tell with the cardinal tank more than anything. Cheers, Ben. Really appreciate it, mate. It's just I just want to buy it and then I don't have to mess about with anyone. I've already decided. First thing I'm going to do is take the door off the fish room. Honestly, it's like take that door off. Got 2 doors there, and this door took off ages ago. Just and then get some more plug sockets put in this gaff for sure. Hey Dylan, how you doing, buddy? Just when the tide fill in more quickly. It does grow pretty quickly, mate. It does grow pretty quickly when the tide. It does in here anyway. Carpets as well. Eventually, if you can call it carpet, but it sends runners out and you get loads of other plants. Yeah, I've got one side brown growing all over the show in here, like literally all over the show. Mr. McQueen, how you doing, buddy? Skunk Corrydoras and some Mobo's Marnie. Nice, guys. Where you going, mate? Where you getting them from? It's Premier. I take it. One side slow grow, persistent. Cheers, Dylan. Get rid of that fool. There you go. Much faster, much better as a background cover. Got a chocolate cichlid. Nice, nice. True skunks or hybrid. RIP my €6. You should be able to charge it back, mate, because it's not come through here. Because it'll come up in the chat. $25 likes in half an hour. Yes. That is pretty good, actually. It is pretty good. Oh, God. The good thing is, my arm feels a lot better, but I'm not going to do that too often. My arm's kind of feeling, it started feeling a bit better at last after months. Do you have platters or ruminose tetras? Damn. Mr. McQueen. That is awfully generous of you, mate. That is awfully generous of you. That's what happens, Dutch, when they go through, mate. Just so you know. Guys, please show Gary some love there. That's absolutely amazing. Triple banger as well, mate. Triple banger, because you deserve a triple banging. For sure. We'll deal with bin cam in a minute. But for that, mate, I'm going to throw you in the pot twice. It's a bloody date today. 30th, damn. 1. too. Gary, that is awesome, mate. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Hey, Don. How you doing, buddy? Let me just deal with Gary. You're all rolled up. Got a bit of feeding to do as well. God, everything's just it's been mortgage talk. One in the pot. Gary, that is all amazing, mate. Thank you so much, mate. Oh, he's struggling with the rolling tonight. Struggling. Normally been doing that like a pro. How's it going, Dan? Two in the pot. Let's see if I can. So, Monday night, we finished on 100% on bin cam, guys. 100%. Oh, we're not doing that tonight, though. Oh my God. You know what? Should not have blown my trumpet, should I? Should not have blown my trumpet. Damn, we're on 33% tonight. So we're definitely not finishing on 100%, are we? For sure. For sure. Right. Before we go any further, let's just go and feed the kids, because right. Local Maidenhead. Oh, nice, mate. Nice. Right, let's go in. That's what I like to see. I knew you'd love that, Dane. I knew you'd love that, mate. You'd have hated it on Monday, mate. 100%. 100%. Couldn't fail. Today, though, absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. So, let's, you don't want to look at my ugly mush, do you? Let's go on there. So the tensions have dropped in the puffer tank, guys, as well now. We did take 6 puffers back. Not to Maidenhead though, just up the road. There is quite a bit of tension in here, so just yes. Oh my God. Yes, feeding's proving to be quite unsuccessful. Wow. That's when the bloodworm got stuck in the bloody pipette. So Fanny loves a bit of bloodworm, guys, as well. So I am putting way too much in for the puffers, obviously. But Fanny does look like to suck on a bit of bloodworm. Camera shy tonight. Camera shy. Put a bit more in there. Get that down. Let's go and have a look at what's going on in the cardinal tank. So I've definitely got a buried sunset, sun-kissed, I should say. And so this one here, even though you can't see. Hey, Ruben, I will deal with you in a minute. So this one is definitely saddled. But yeah, last night I've got a buried shrimp in here as well, so that's great news. Kind of buzzing with that. So hopefully we'll get some nice sun-kissed shrimp kicking about in here soon. So again, snowflake food. Thanks to whoever timed out the a-hole. At least he knows what he is. There's that freaky thing. Damn, full of eggs again. Absolutely full of eggs. Let's freeze me the hell out of that thing. Damn. Horrible. Female Amano shrimps when they're buried. Yeah, not nice. Not nice. Especially for those that suffer badly with arachnophobia, like myself. So we'll feed these babies first, as we do. It's nice to see you've come a member again, Ruben. I can guarantee that the one chip challenge video view count will increase for sure. As always, guys, brine shrimp, daphnia, bloodworm, mysis, and snowflake food goes down well. As you can see. Everything in this tank's just looking amazing at the moment. So let's flick on over. See what we can do with these babies and zoom out. Yeah, I might ask me a guy who lives above me to start playing some proper tunage tomorrow night as well for when they come. It's nice and banging. Nice loud music. Start the Dirty Tricks campaign. So Ruben, thank you for becoming a member again, mate. Really appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying your fishing as well, which I'm pretty sure you are. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming a member again, buddy. So Ruben has become a member, guys. Gets early access to all my content. He gets access to the members only emojis, including the new axolotl emoji. Access to members only content, even though there isn't really that much, but there's a little bit. There's a shrimp one on there as well, which is like an in-depth guide to keeping shrimp. And I think YouTube give you quite a few benefits as well. So I've thrown a few snails in this tank as well, hence why it's slightly overfeeding them all now, because them puffers go through snails like nobody's business. It's incredible. Gary, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. But yeah, definitely gonna start dirty tricks. If they're gonna start playing dirty, then I'll start playing dirty too, for sure. Yeah, Molly coming in with the axolotl emoji. Yes, and the Bozeman emoji. And our Friday night had a drink emojis on there as well. When the fools come in on a Friday night, when they've sniffed a beer. Come and get some 6 million snails in my shrimp tank. Honestly, mate, puffers go through them like nobody's business. Honestly, I don't know where they put it, to be perfectly honest. I don't know where they put it all. I put about 20 snails in that puffer tank last night. All gone. All gone. I just don't know where they put it all. There's only 6 in there now. Incredible. Incredible. Yeah, putting 12 in was a bad mistake. It was started getting a little bit. You could see the territorial tension started growing in there. So taking 6 out was a great idea because he has just eased the tension. I love watching them puffers. They're cool. They are cool. Guys, 27 likes. 27 likes in the first 50 minutes is awesome. So we do need to up our target, don't we? We need to up our target to 40. On Monday, I didn't post on Discord the final figures because obviously the stream was split. Because we had, when the stream died on us, we had, I think there'd been 250 views come through in the first half an hour. But then the second half was like 1,257, I think it was. 1,257 views. So Monday's Fishkeeper Club hit over 1,500 people, which was absolutely awesome. Please put in someone's name who hasn't won something yet. Molly. You are awesome, kiddo. You really are. Thank you so much. So who's not won something yet? Double banging for Mo. We'll deal with Cam in a minute. Right, let's see. I don't know. Molly, thank you so much, love. It's really, really generous. Really generous. So who's not won anything yet, guys? Throw your names in now if you've not won anything. Just put a heart or something, whatever, so I can see, and then I will choose. Ben, there you go. Ben, courtesy of Molly, you go in the pot, mate. Molly, thank you so much. All this will just look really good when I go to the bank on Monday. And I'm like, look, I do YouTube as well. So I've got to go towards try to get this bloody place bought. Oh, God, who thought buying a house or buying sort of property would be so stressful? Ben, courtesy of Molly, you're in the pot. Let's see if we can pull out pull back our bin cam. Okay, so that's 5, 3 in out of 5, 60%. It's getting better. It's getting better. Unfortunately, we won't be finishing on 100 tonight like we did on the Monday night. Damn, 100%. Hey, Katie, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Hope you're well. Wedding and buying a house, most stressful thing in the world. Yes, mate. You know what? And I haven't done either ever until now. Yeah, buying a house shouldn't really be that stressful, should it? It's yeah, nightmare. But yeah, I've never bit the bullet on the married thing. He's got his fan on. Yes, Dave, that is a good point. Fans on, so blows them off course. Definitely a great point. Definitely a great point. I was never again. Never say never, mate. Never say never. You never know what comes around the corner. I'm doing good. How are you, Tracy? Everyone in the chat. It's been a minute. Yeah, all good, Katie. All good. All good. I heard that. I don't know what you heard. I'm saying nothing. Saying nothing. Anyway, how are you, Katie? Never, unless it's a sugar mummy. Yeah, mate. I think we could all do one of them. For sure. For sure. All good your way. Nice, Katie. Nice. Good to see. Good to see. Yeah, I think we all need someone rich in our life, don't we? It's money in it. No one should be struggling money-wise, really, in this modern day, should they? No one should be struggling. It's not good. It's not good. So whatever that white mark was on the female peppermint, yeah, I think well, Gary said it could be like a breeding thing. I have not seen the male peppermint now for about a week, so I'm kind of hoping he's taking care of a bit of business, because that would really like make my day. But yeah, I haven't seen the male peppermint now for a week. He says, no, definitely it's still the female. But yeah, the female is all healed up, which is good. I'm going to buy Gyrophone. There's one enough for an 80-litre long. How long is an 80-litre long, guys? Because we don't really do it that way in the UK. I'll be honest. 132 million euro might do. Yeah, climbing, that'd be awesome, mate. That would be awesome. Damn, can you imagine that? Had to run to the shop for the missus, buy a fags. What she doesn't know, I charged her £20 in the pocket. Just stopped 18 months ago. How much are fags nowadays? Not cheap, is it now? Not cheap. I agree more. You better have the money, house, the land, farm, fish, and tanks. Mineral tanks. Before I remap. Yes. I don't think I'd have got away with all the tanks if I was married anyway. Definitely not. It's 20 gallon. It's a 20 gallon long. And it's the length, mate. I don't know. Kind of. We go like. I think that one's 4 foot, 300 litre. That's kind of how I work it. But 20 gallon long, I don't know what that's like Swahili to me, mate. I'm afraid. How many feet long is it? It's probably what I'm trying to say, more than anything. I got house and tanks, but not the money. Yeah, mate. I'm hoping to have the house and the tanks. I know we definitely won't have any money. Definitely won't have any money. If I get add over, I won't have tanks, money, or a house. So yeah, it's that's where I'm at the moment. 2.5 foot. It depends how what impact you want to have it, really, Lord. Because like, I think if you start, it's one of them, innit? For a YouTuber, I have to buy a load of plants when I do build videos, because they have to look full when it's done. But if you're not doing anything for YouTube, then you can let everything grow, can't you? Like, Java isn't the fastest growing plant. But once it starts growing those little plantlets on the end of the leaves, then it's all good. You know, you can start replanting them everywhere else, or sticking them to your wood or rocks or anything. I'm just kidding about the money part. Oh, you need money in your life, don't you? They say money doesn't buy you happiness, but it certainly takes the sting out of being poor, doesn't it? 30 inches, 20 gallon long. Like 30-inch, right? Yeah, you see, we don't work it like that in the UK. It's just like 300 litre, 4 foot long, you know? Daniel, thank you so much, mate. Thanks for popping in. And I think then, I know you've received yours. I think everyone's received them today. I did get emails off Fourth Wall saying that Carl's have been delivered, yours have been delivered, and John's have been delivered. So yes, definitely nice to see that they come, mate. I'm so glad you like it as well, mate. Have a drink of coffee in it on me, mate, for sure. But yeah, mate, I'm so glad they've all come. It's quite a good service that they've offered in the UK. It takes a little bit longer in the States, I think, but that might just be because of the size of the States. No, don't get married. Just buy a fish tank. Problem solved. You're so right, Carl. You are so right. I'll never remarry. Once was enough, and even that was a trial run. I've got to admit, mate. I've never been like, don't know if you meet the right person in it, but it's a lot of expense for a piece of paper, in it, when you can just like live together in sin, whatever. I was like getting hit by a truck wide open. How long was you? I shouldn't really ask that. I was gonna say how long were you married for, Kate, but I won't intrude. I know a girl years ago, grew up with her, and she lived with a lad for 7 years. Yeah, and they were seeing each other for 2 years before they lived with each other, so like 9 years. And then they got married, and 3 months later they split up, which was pretty mad, really. Lived together for 7 years, got married 3 months, and that was it. Game over. Yeah, it's a crack, mate. Thanks. I'm gonna go and try and get the wee princess down. If she goes soon, I'll come back. Cheers, Daniel. Thanks for clicking that like button as well, mate. Yeah, hopefully you get it down. Tot of that scotch, mate. Might do it. And if not, you just have it instead. Being married is like being arrested with 2 tiny handcuffs. I've never bit the bullet. So, has anyone? I'll put it back to you. I've still got the list of questions. Has anyone got any more questions that they'd like me to answer in a Q&A video that I'm going to try and do this weekend? I was living all throughout high school. After I graduated, got married a month later. I filed for divorce after a year. Wow, okay. Wow. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Been with my missus 19 years now, not married. Our school friends are already on their second marriage. Nah, I think, to be honest, I think the cost of a wedding is enough to put so much strain on a relationship. When at the end of the day, it's not needed, is it? It's not needed. You can live together, and you don't need to be married there. You don't need to walk down the aisle. Yeah, I have a question. How do I keep my yellow submarine? You know what? I'm not even gonna write that one down, Gary. You know how I feel about them. You read bloody submarines. The only way I can suggest about keeping, I'll answer it now, mate. The only way you can keep your yellow submarine bright and algae free, yeah, is to not put it in your tank in the first place. And here we have, I think, yes. Here we go, guys. Here is our tonight's guest, Don. How you doing, mate?
All good here. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Good to see you.
Make an adjustment here so I'm a little bit taller than you. There you go. That's better.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's going okay. I had myself a job interview today. It went quite well.
Oh, nice, mate. Nice.
Yeah, go in Friday and Saturday for some training sessions.
Good.
And I heard from the contact that put me in touch with them that they like me and they want to take me on. So, yeah.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
Good news.
That is good news. Yeah, well done. Well done.
See if I can get a bit more volume out of this. No, volume's maxed out.
Yeah, just to be honest, I'm going to smooth mine up a little bit. Just realise it's pushing the air. Yes, guys, tonight's guest is Don.
I'm looking over here to read messages. Hey, Carl. Hey, Yuyo and Ruben and Tracy and Old Time and
yeah, mate. Well, I've tried to keep it a secret. Well, I did keep it a secret. It a secret.
That's all good.
That looks pretty cool. That tank behind you, actually, Don. What's in there?
With this, if I can just come this way, show you what's going on. That's my 110 liter. So I've got a sponge filter in one corner, and I've got a Fluval 207 in the other.
Nice.
And that right there is just a green yarn sponge mop, or a yarn mop, spawning mop. But all the other plants are alive and well.
Nice.
And what have I got in there? I've got 11 black neon tetras. Get you a little bit close, maybe you can see them. They're a bit skittish. I've got some otocinclus. I've got a couple of Amano shrimp, some red cherry shrimp, and half a dozen pygmy cories.
Nice. I do like pygmy cories. They're cool. Yeah, cool.
The other tank, you won't be able to see because the lights are out, but check this out. This is my flatmate's 420 liter tank.
Oh my God.
That's 5 foot long.
Wow, is that a big tin foil there?
That's a big tin foil, yeah.
Oh mate, that's stunning, isn't it?
And then lots of other cichlids, and then the pothos and the bamboo growing out the top.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
And my other tank you're not going to see today. It's a little 29 liter that's in my bedroom.
Right.
And the reason I picked that up is because I'm having trouble with the neocaridines in this tank here.
Right.
It took me a long time to get the tank cycled. Right. Amanos. I let it go for about 2 months, put some Amanos in, and they started dying about one a week. I waited until the remainder stayed alive, 3 or 4. And they seemed to be stable. So I went and bought some more and put those in the tank, and they had babies. And then they would get about, I don't know, 1.5 centimeters long. So they were still juveniles, but they're old enough to reproduce.
Yeah.
And then they die. They just stop growing and stop living. And it wasn't a molt problem. I'm looking at potassium. I'm looking at water temperature, pH. I'm looking at KH, GH, TDS, all of that stuff. Ammonia, nitrate, and everything was within parameters. But my GH was a little bit too high.
Right.
No, my KH was a little bit too high. So I then did the thing that I tell everybody to do now, which is test your tap water before you do a water change to make sure you know what you're putting in your tank. Because down here, our water is just liquid shit. Yeah. It's really bad. The nitrates coming out of the tap are about 38 on average.
Wow.
38 parts per million. And the legal limit is 50, so we're not far off that. And down here, they blame that on fertilizer runoff from farms getting into the water supply.
Yeah, see, this is it. This is what I always say, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to know what you're putting in the tank. There's no point testing what's in the tank until you know what you're putting in.
Yeah.
Then you take it from there. So what I've done is, and this is important for anybody in the UK who lives with the same water conditions that I live with. I found a company called Spotless Water, and they're typically used by window cleaners and carpet cleaners and stuff like that. But it's basically a 24-hour a day, 365-day a year availability. You tend to find them next door to garden centers and stuff like that. So what they do is they strip all of the crap out of the water, nitrates and ammonia and all of that stuff. And their wastewater is used by the garden centers to feed their plants. To water their plants. So they don't need to fertilize them that way because the water is so high in ammonia and nitrates and all of the stuff that the plants need. So the garden center benefits, and they sell the water for VAT included 4.2p a liter. So I fill up two 20-liter jugs once every 3 months, something like that, and I mix some in. I cut some in with my tap water when I do a water change. Now I also implore people to test their tap water on a regular basis when they're doing water changes, because when I first started testing the KH in my tap water, I was 15 parts per million, which is too high for neocardinas. And I tested it last week and it was 6, which is absolutely fine for neocardinas. So right now I don't need to cut the RO water in with my tap water. I can just use tap. That's fine. But the nice thing about Spotless Water, you open up an account which is free. They send you a fob in the post, so it's like a fob to get into a common entry door or something like that, and it's branded. It's got your account number on it and stuff like that. And then you prepay, so you load your card, you load your account up with 10 or 20 pounds, something like that. So I put 20 pounds on mine. No, I put 10 pounds on mine when I first opened it up back in August or September, and I have yet to run out of money.
Wow.
Now I found a referral code online from somebody else who had a Spotless Water account, and I went in and stuck that in when I set my account up. And on my first use, I was given an extra 10-pound credit.
Nice.
So I've actually still got more money in the account than I started with, because I got the 10-pound free credit. Now he got 25 pounds credit for the referral. So if anybody in the UK thinks they want to use reverse osmosis water without plumbing the entire system into their house, they want to try it out without the huge investment, reach out to me. I hate that reach out. Ping me, let me know, and I'll give you a referral code. On first use, you'll get 10 pounds free credit. I'll get 25.
Nice. Yeah, I've never heard of that, mate, to be honest. But like, my water up here is pretty basically like RO water. Yeah, that's like, you know what I mean? That's how it
That's why I hate you.
makes life so much easier. It makes life. But I do, again though, mate, I test my tap water monthly.
Yeah.
I tested it actually, well, 6 months ago I did a TDS meter on it and it was 42. And then last week we did a TDS meter and it was 78. So
Yeah.
it just, that just shows how much you should test anyway, because
That's right. That's
you
right. But
never know what these water companies are throwing in it.
Like I say, in the summertime, my KH out of the tap is 6, absolutely fine. In the wintertime, it's 15. It goes as high as 18. So that's 3 times the amount coming out of the same tap. It's absurd. So did I mention to tell you when I went and checked on the 29-liter in my bedroom, which I've only got I pulled 12 neocardinas out of this tank and stuck them in the other tank when I set it up, and I bought that on Facebook Marketplace. The tank, the hood, a heater which malfunctioned right after I plugged it in, and the light I got for 15 pounds. So that's not too bad. So I pulled a dozen neocardinas, red cherries, out of this tank and stuck it in the tank in my bedroom. And they did fine for the first couple of weeks. I lost 2, and I just checked them a couple of minutes ago, and I've got little shrimplets climbing on the glass now. So they've reproduced and yes, little babies. So it's really good.
I don't water change my shrimp tanks, mate, at all. I find that helps loads as well. That stability. Probably do a water change on them maybe once every 6 weeks on my shrimp tanks.
Yeah, you sound like Richard James. Stability, stability, stability.
I know.
But there's a reason, Russ, that I do that is because I don't do water changes in the 29 liter in my bedroom. I only do water changes in this one, and the reason is okay. Why am I called Prodigal Aquarist? You're interrogating me now, right? I started keeping tropical fish in the 1960s. Okay, so that's how old I am. All right, I think it was 1969. I got my first tank, and I got another tank. It was a 10-gallon, and I followed that with a 29-gallon that my parents gave me for Christmas that same year. And I ended up working at a pet shop, a brand new pet land that had just opened up in the town I finished out high school in, Lancaster, Ohio. So I was born and raised in Ohio. And I got a job in there looking after the freshwater tanks. And there's about 70 odd tanks in that, the freshwater tanks in that shop. And it was my job to make sure everything was okay. And there's some stories behind that. I went away to Iowa and Missouri for university. And I was there 4 years in school and then 2 years working afterwards. And then moved back to Ohio and was working in restaurants back in Columbus, Ohio, where I grew up. And bought an aquarium, bought a 55-gallon, put a couple of angels and a plec in it, and some Amazon swords, and they did quite well because of the way the room was lit. Ended up with 27 aquariums in my apartment within about a year and a half, and I was breeding and selling fish to pet shops. So if you want to count them off, I did barbs, I did convict cichlids, and back when people would buy convict cichlids, credenses, which I think are making a comeback now, bettas, angels, zebradanios. Had some Oscars breed at the pet shop, not at home, but at the pet shop we had those reproduce. So yeah, 6 or 7 different types of fish that I was not counting the all the live bears because those are just too easy. But the egg layers were the ones that I was really concerned with. Back then, the only water parameters that we were concerned with were temperature and pH. Nitrate, and ammonia and phosphates and all of that stuff was purely in the bailiwick of saltwater, and we just weren't interested.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I had those 27 aquariums, and that was great. Then I found out I was coming over here for a while, for 5 weeks, and it might turn into a couple of years, which it did. So I had to get rid of all my tanks, getting ready for that. And briefly, while I was married, I had probably about a 200-liter tank. But that didn't last too long, the tank or the marriage, and had to get rid of that. And then started watching YouTube and found this guy called Father Fish, who had this dirted aquarium thing, the Father Fish method. And I thought, this is really interesting, something I've never heard of before. And he's saying, never ever do a water change. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's bullshit, and it's irresponsible straight off the bat. Because if you've got high KH and high GH, you're only adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. And eventually you're going to kill your fish. You know, it might be a lot easier, you bastard, with the easy water that you've got, the soft water that you got up north. But down here, we can't do that sort of thing. So I poo-pooed that straight away, and then started watching Alexander Williamson Fishery. And he had a much more sensible approach. And his approach was what he calls the lasagna method. And so I tried my best not to screw it up, knowing full well that I would. And if there's any Americans watching, they'll know what hamburger helper is. And that's what I call my method. I ended up doing a hamburger helper method, which is basically just a great big mess. And I made the mistake of buying pond soil for the soil substrate in my tank. And I didn't look at the NPK until I'd already built the tank. And once I did that, I thought, oh, I wonder what the NPK is. It should be 10.55, right? It says nitrogen and phosphate and potassium and stuff like that. Turns out it's 29.10, which is very hot and spicy. So it's leaking too much crap into the water, which is why I have to do water changes in this tank, is just to keep that diluted. It also is buffering. There's a clay compound in that pond soil, and pond soil is not meant for fish. Pond soil is meant for plants. I didn't know that. I do now. Okay, so do be warned. Be very careful if you're going to do a dirted tank. Know exactly what you're doing, because it very, very easily go wrong. All right, so it's got a buffering compound in it, kind of like aragonite. So my pH coming out of the tap is 6.6, 6.8, and my tank goes about 7.2, 7.4. So it's keeping the pH pushed right up, where the black neon tetras don't like it, the pygmy cories don't like it. So that's my reason for trying to stay on the low end of the KH/GH for the shrimp, is to make it more suitable for the other critters in the tank.
Go admit, mate, I'm not a fan of father fish, mate.
I'll never do it again. Never ever do it again.
We used to get quite a lot of these cult, if you will, coming in there, but yeah, you just bin them off because
Yeah.
it is irresponsible, totally irresponsible.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, I've never been a fan of it at all.
So, have you got any questions for me, Russ?
Well, Katie's just thrown in, what was the first fish you ever had?
Good question. Good question. Right. My first tank. The way I came about getting my first tank, I knew nothing about. Well, I'll tell you the first fish tank that I saw. This is a good story. My great grandparents emigrated from Staffordshire over here in England to the States in the late 1890s. 1890s. They emigrated over to the States. And my great grandfather was an absolute genius. He was what would you call him? Not a trained engineer. He just knew lots of stuff. The reason he went to the States is because he had done an apprenticeship in a clock making shop. So it's a 7-year stint. And about 5 years into his apprenticeship, the guy that owned his apprenticeship sold his apprenticeship to a bootmaker. So he went from making clocks to making boots, and the 7 years started all over again. And 5 years into that, he found out that the clockmaker was going to sell his apprenticeship on to somebody else. And he said, screw that, I'm out of here. So he went to Liverpool, got on a boat, and ended up in the States. And he found a job, probably in construction, and then sent for my great grandmother. They got married after she went to the States. So he put some money together, sent it over here for her. She got on a boat and went over and met him. And he ended up building 4 houses. He built the church that we went to when I was a kid, built it all himself. And he used to build telescopes as a hobby. And he built himself an aquarium. He had a bay window on the side of his house, and the aquarium was not quite as big as that one. It's probably about a 300-liter tank. So it's nice thick glass. And this is back in the old days when they had putty instead of silicone. There's no such thing as silicone back then. So he put a frame around it, sealed it up with putty, and had a piece of slate for the base of the tank for the bottom. And he bored a hole in the slate and put a drain in it. And that's how he did water changes in the tank. He went down to the drugstore, because that's where you used to buy fish and plants, and he bought a bag of common guppies, which look an awful lot like endlers, what we call endlers today, but very similar to them, and a bag of anacharis, and he threw them both in the tank, and he fed them once a day, and once a week he'd stick a bucket underneath the tank, and he'd open up that drain a bucket of water out, go over to he'd dump it out in the backyard, go over to the sink, top it up, chuck it in the tank, and that was his maintenance. And I was just amazed by this tank that was just chock full of plants and little fish swimming everywhere, and they're always having babies. And I'm trying, at 6 years old, trying to count all the fish and stuff like that. And I was just enthralled by the whole thing. So anyhow, fast forward a couple of years, and my dad was the pastor. He was a lay pastor, or lay preacher. So he's the pastor of the church that I went to when I was a kid. And they had a 10-gallon tank in the nursery that they had a couple of goldfish in, but the church is only open on Sundays. So what they do is they put a vacation feeder in the tank every couple of weeks, and the fish kept dying, and the fish kept dying, and the fish kept dying. And so they closed down the tank. And my dad said, "Do you want to put $10 in the offering plate? You can take the tank home." So I did that and set it up. went to the pet shop. And back in those days, the people who worked in the pet shops were all veterinary students. Because again, this was Columbus, Ohio, which is where the Ohio State University is located, and they've got a world-renowned veterinary college there. And so you go into the pet shop and you ask people questions, and they knew exactly what they were talking about, and they gave some solid sound advice. And they said, if it's your first time with fish and you've only just set the tank up a week ago, recommend you get some tetras, and you'll need a catfish to help with the cleanup. So I got 2 black skirt tetras and 2 bleeding heart tetras and a Cory catfish, and there was no distinction as to the specific type of catfish. It was just a spotted Cory, and that's what I started with.
How times have changed, though, mate, innit, in this hobby.
Yeah.
It's changed massively, hasn't it? In
Indeed.
in 40 years. Like you said earlier, you never worried about ammonia nitrates. It was just never. It's never an issue. It's never an issue. I don't even know when that actually creeps in, to be perfectly honest, because
I had no idea about it. It just did a 10% water change once a week, and I was so gripped by the entire thing. I used to go to the school library every 2 months. This little magazine would come out, more like a pamphlet, really. It was called Tropical Fish Hobbyist, and that was Herbert Axelrod put that one out. He was the editor of the magazine, and your friend Heiko Blair was a regular contributor with some fantastic articles in that publication. Came out every 2 months, and I go down to the school library and just read the thing cover to cover and just soak everything up that I possibly could. And there were lots of articles because Germany was always very big in the fish keeping hobby, tropical fish. And the Germans back then were proud of their old water. They never, well, the thinking back then was you never do a water change, there's no need. But the older the water in your tank, the better your tank was. And they would only top up for evaporation. Or they'd only do a water change if they had to put medication in and then get the medication out. They do a 10 or 25%. But the standard operating procedure was you never do a water change in a tank. You simply top it up. And there were people bragging about having 25-year-old water in a 10 or 20-gallon aquarium. And again, I knew that was wrong because the minerals they don't evaporate. It's water that evaporates, and that's hydrogen and oxygen in it. Everything else stays there.
Yeah, it is. Like you've seen on Saturdays, why do you do water changes? It's just, I love it. The fish love it, though, to be perfectly honest. Fish.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, my flatmate, he's got cichlids in that tank, and he does 50% once a week. And they seem to love it. They just play around in the fresh stream of water coming in.
Yeah. Couldn't deny him it. You couldn't deny him it. I enjoy doing it as well, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, to me, whenever you do anything with the tank, you just watch, you pay attention. What do I call it? Mindful observation. So you spend time looking at the tank, and you get used to what your fish do. And if you approach the tank, do they come up to you, or are they like my black neon tetras and they skittish and hide? And then do your water changes according. If they hide and change color and go all pale when you do a water change, don't do water changes very often. If they color up and play in this stream of fresh water coming in and really come to life when you do a water change, by all means do a water change. I mean, one of the things that I've learned about this tank, I've got the dwarf wisteria in there, and that's to keep the nitrates down and to help leach out some of the toxic crap that's in this soil because they're very fast growing stem plants. If I cut them down to sort of, I'm going to do inches, about 6 inches tall, and I guess that tank is probably about 20 inches deep. So if I cut them down to about a third the height of the tank, within a week they'll have grown back to the top. But also, when they grow back to the top, the black neons all hide at the back of the tank, at the bottom of the tank. And when I put the flake food in the feeding ring, they don't come out to eat it, and it all drops down to the soil. And the black neons, they're not bottom feeders. They're surface feeders. They'll chase the food about halfway down, and then they lose interest. So in order to get them to eat, I've got to keep the plants trimmed down. And once I trim the plants down, they'll come out and swim around. But if there's plenty of cover, they must think, I don't know, they need the cover or something like that. And there's a reason for it. So they're scared as shit and they're not coming out to say hello. So, yeah.
Yeah, evening, Logan. Look, there used to be a guy coming here, Logan, years ago. Well, years ago. It wasn't years ago, months ago. I don't know if it's the same guy. I think it could well be. Could well be. Hi, Logan. How you doing, buddy? Just seeing if anyone else asked any questions. Have you ever done saltwater? Or would you want to do saltwater? Would you want to do a reef tank? Don't know. Have you ever done a reef tank?
Now salt water to me is like pink elephants, you know, nice to look at every now and then, but I sure don't want to own one. Just too much expense, too much work, too much worry.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would like to do one, but
yeah,
I'd have to be at home majority of the time.
Yeah, there was a pet shop by the old Stag Brewery in Mortlake, just around the corner. It's down by the Chiswick Bridge off the Thames, where I used to live, where the boat race finishes. Okay, that's the boat race finishes at Chiswick Bridge. And I used to live just one side of the bridge on the north side of the river when I was married. And then when we got divorced, I bought a house just on the south side of the bridge. And just around the corner from that is the Stag Brewery. And right next to that, it was a pet shop. I can't even remember now what it was called. And I used to go there and pick up things for the tank when Kate and I were married. And you walk in the front door, and this guy, he had a tank that must have been 6 feet wide. It was almost a meter deep. Almost a meter high, and probably 2 meters deep. So it's 2 meters by 2 meters, and it was a big honking tank. And he had so much living coral in it. It was just, and he had these pendant lights hanging that just showed off all the colors, and the fish were just absolutely amazing. He must have sunk thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds into that. I'd rather have more freshwater tanks, to be honest.
Yeah. I can feel that. I years ago I used to do insurance assessing, and they sent me to a house in Liverpool, and they had a reef tank, and they'd put in a 30,000. I think it was about 30 grand a claim, because they'd had a new kitchen fitted, and they'd cut through the mains, and the electric was off for an hour, and it wiped. In that hour, it wiped everything out, whole tank.
Oh my
God.
God.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Horrible. So I'm just trying to get the glare off my glasses here, just closing the laptop a little bit.
So you've got that tank behind you with the spawning mop. What are you hoping to get out of that?
Because I pulled quite a few plants out of this tank to put in the 29 liter in my bedroom, the shrimp stopped breeding, and I was just trying to give them a place that would develop a little bit of biofilm and give them better cover for dropping shrimplets and make them feel more at home.
Nice. Yeah. What colour shrimp?
Red cherries.
Yeah. They are a favourite, aren't they? They are a favourite. I am a big fan of shrimp, to be perfectly honest. They're a different addiction level completely.
Yeah, they are. They're becoming an awful lot of work for me, an awful lot of work and worry, and I might end up saying if I can't get them to work easily, then I'm doing something wrong, which means that they're not happy and they're not healthy, and it's wrong for me to be keeping them. So I'll switch to something else.
Yeah. I've got to admit, I did struggle. I struggled with shrimp for ages, and but then all of a sudden, they've just blown up. I think there was 11 went in there. 11 went in the cardinal tank, and now I have got one that's buried. I've got one that's saddled, at least one that's saddled.
Yeah.
So yeah, things are looking good on the Sunkist as well, which is good.
Yeah, I did. How long? It was the first week in July, I think. Richard James come out with a video talking about the behavior of shrimp, and when they're dropping their young, and talking about how they sort of they continue to bend and bend and bend and bend and bend like that, the females. And that's what they look like when the cysts have hatched and the shrimplets are big enough for her to set free. And that very same evening, I'm looking in my tank because I've got algae growing all over the sides and the backs for the shrimp and the autosynclus and stuff like that. I only clean the front pane. And I noticed an amano on the side glass exhibiting the same behavior. And not only that, I noticed that the black neon tetras were like right there, like right on her. And then I saw the little tiny cysts coming out of the female amano, and the black neon tetras going boom, 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 zap, zap, ping, ping, just having a feast. And I caught a few minutes of it on video on my phone. I think I might try to turn that into a short or something like that and stick that on.
Definitely, because it's something you don't really see a lot of on YouTube.
That's right. They don't often do it out in the open. Yeah.
No. Adam said, if you could keep just one fish for life, what would it be? Any size?
Adam, I think it's probably going to be crebenses.
Yeah, awesome.
They look after their young. The way that I bred them was in a 55-gallon tank, and it was a sort of display tank sat in my living room. And I had fine natural gravel, not coarse, but fine natural gravel in the tank. And I had a couple of big rocks, about bigger than a grapefruit, smaller than a football, whatever size that is. And just set that on top of the fine gravel. And I would feed them beef heart that I would make. I'd go to the butcher's and buy a heart of beef and chop that up and mix it with some wheat germ and stuff like that, and a few others, bit of spinach and so forth. Made my own fish food and froze it. And I put little bits of that in the tank, feed them up, give them crushed up freeze-dried krill. They like that. Tubifex worms, stuff like that. And then I'd start cranking up the temperature just a couple of degrees and up the flake food and do a water change, and bang, they'd just color up and she would swell up and he'd start digging a hole. He'd start moving the gravel, excavating from underneath the big rock, digging a cave. And then they both go in there and lay the eggs on the underside of the rock, so the ceiling of the cave. And they'd have their young and, hatch them out and look after them pretty well. So I had convicts doing it on one end of the tank and crebenses doing it on the other end of the tank. And I had angelfish, left everybody alone. I had Australian rainbows, but never boesmanis, left them alone. And wild green swordtails. One of them won best in show at a fish show, won the best in show trophy at a fish show, which I'm really proud of. And that was a cull I bought at a fish club meeting for 25 cents. Brilliant. But yeah, they would raise the young up. And usually I'd let them go for about a week, and then I'd just put a siphon in and siphon them out into a bucket, take them down into the basement, stick them in a glass bottom tank. And I had 2 bags of brine shrimp eggs hatching out, running off an air pump, and I just feed them brine shrimp and crushed up flake food. And as they grew, then I had bigger tanks and bigger tanks going down to 40 gallons and 55s on the end. And when they graduated that, they go into a bucket and get down to the pet shop, and I'd swap them for fish food or a heater or a filter or whatever I happened to need. I had a really good pet shop they would take anything that I could breed because they knew that they were clean and no parasites and stuff like that. So I had a really good relationship with them.
It's a good thing to have that relationship with your local fish shop.
It takes a lot of work. You got to go in on a regular basis and spend money every time you go in. And ask them questions, involve yourself in discussions with them, and get them to understand how much experience you've got, the knowledge that you've got, the care that you give, and so forth and so on. Then they start trusting you.
It is, yeah, it is. You're right there. Ruben says, what did the shops look like back then when we were young?
That's a good question. There was one called Menagerie. And it was an old house, probably built in the late 1800s. and it was right off of High Street, which is a main drag going through Columbus, Ohio. And I worked in a restaurant that was on High Street. So I basically walked past this pet shop to get to my car to drive home. And every couple of months, they'd have a 10-gallon kit sale. So it's a 10-gallon tank with an undergravel filter, which I love. Undergravel filters, old tech. 10-gallon tank, undergravel filter, an air pump, a heater, and a hood with a fluorescent light, $15. And you couldn't say no to that, which is how I ended up with so many damn tanks. I just walked by, see all the sales on plop over $15, grab the tank, set up, stick it in the car, drive home, set the tank up, and then figure out what to put in it. So we had that one, and it was just an old rickety house. Most of the pet shops were in shopping centers and strip malls and stuff like that, which is like walking into I don't know, in the UK, a Chinese restaurant, Indian restaurant, something like that. So just very long and narrow. But there was one, and this is the one that I sold my fish to, called Byerly's, and that was on High Street as well in Columbus. And they had taken over an old furniture store location, and that was more like the size of a Woolworths in the UK, if you remember those from the High Street, or a small Iceland or something like that. And the guy, he was absolutely brilliant. He set up everything from brand new. He hired only knowledgeable staff. His prices were super fair. They kept their tanks clean. You never saw a dead fish in there. If they found one, they'd swipe it out straight away. Good quality products. That's where I bought my first and only Eheim filter, and I loved that thing back in the 80s. That was fantastic shop, and they closed down for no known reason, but long after I came over here. So, like I say, most of them were the long, narrow retail space in a shopping mall or a strip mall or something like that. But
yeah, I don't really think
pretty standard.
The shops haven't really changed, have they? At the end of the day, they haven't. They probably behind the scenes has probably changed a lot with the way filters have changed over the years. But
yeah,
actually going in shops, nothing's changed. It's just they were just rows of tanks, weren't they? And
yeah. Well, one thing I think has changed is that the fish that you are sold in a pet shop, they're so much smaller than they used to be. Yeah. Because the ones that we would get in would be near as damn an adult size for zebra danios and barbs and stuff like that, guppies. And we never had the problem where they'd only sell you, a breeder would only sell you 500 male guppies and they wouldn't sell you any females. You'd always order 100 pairs or something like that. And they come mixed. I understand now why it can be better to sell the smaller fish, is because of what happens in the water in the bags when they're sealed up for an overnight journey, and what happens when you first open up the bag, and the ammonia escaping and the pH crashing and all of that stuff, which obviously very bad for the fish, but we didn't know that back then.
No.
That we used to get bags with 100, 150 zebra danios, and big bags, but 100, 150 danios at a time. I thought nothing of it, and you'd hardly ever lose anything. Different times. And there's so many more foods on the market, and so many specialist foods, and so damn expensive. When I work
fish on the market now as well, Don.
Sorry?
So many different fish on the market now. Like years ago, you weren't getting rainbow fish and things like that back in the day. There was,
you could get bosemani's in Ohio, but you would pay an absolute fortune for them. And the reason I never had bosemani's is that I never saved up enough money to get them. And I was working that way, and then found out that I was coming over here to the UK. So that was in 1990. So I came over for 5 weeks, and I've been stuck here for 35 years. But it feels more like home now, I suppose. I'm starting to get used to it. I can understand what you're saying now, Russ. Lots of practice.
Lord of the Fish says, how did you guys work with plants at the start without the fertilizers and special soils?
Plants died. we didn't know about melt. We knew nothing. You get a bunch of stem plants with a piece of lead tape wrapped around the bottom. Stick them in your tank. If they lived, they lived. If they died, the customer might come back and buy some more. But it was all plastic plants. I mean, that's one of the things that really attracted me to getting back into fish, was trying out the dirted tank thing, the dirted tank method, shrimp and live plants. And I thought I would love to try that. And I first started looking at these aquascapes and nano tanks, and I thought, there's no way. I've got no artistic flair in my body whatsoever, and there's no way I'm going to be able to escape a tank. But wouldn't it be cool if I had a little cube tank with some live plants and some shrimp running around? That'd be really nice. And then I found somebody here in the village where I lived, Southwest London. Worcester Park is the name of the village. And I found somebody at the other end of the village selling this thing here, this 110 liter. He had it on auction on eBay. And it just said Stan's 110 liter tank, light heater filter hood. And he didn't say what kind of filter it was. And I looked at it, and it held water. And I just put in a bid of 60 quid. And he just accepted it straight away. Went down 2 days later and picked the thing up. Come to find out it was a Fluval 207. And 60 quid is a fair price for a used 207.
Yeah.
So basically, I paid 60 quid for the filter and got everything else for free. So,
Nice. That's a great deal. That is a great. It's like say second-hand 60 quid's bargain. That's a bargain. I just say, John, thanks for letting us know it's come, mate. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the cut, buddy. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Anna, this is Don, Prodigal Aquist.
Anna Marie, hello.
He's tonight's guest. See if anyone's.
I'm too blind to be able to read the messages. So.
It's all right. It's all right. So I think, to be honest, Don, like back in the 80s and the 90s, plants, there wasn't that many about, was there? You kind of had to. You got to. I can't remember Kabomba.
Yeah, Kabomba, Anacris, Amazon swords. Not a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So you kind of had to go plastic if you wanted to go down that route.
Yeah, and then the problem with the plastic plants is they fade, and they grow algae. You got to scrub that off, and end up buying plastic, throwing plastic away, and buying more plastic. You know what's that all about? But I was going to say the guy who owned the pet shop that hired me. This is interesting how we priced fish and the price of fish back then. He said, what you do, we ordered them from Indonesia and Malaysia and places like that. And they come in on, these big styrofoam boxes as you'd expect. And he'd drive his van up to the airport and pick them up and bring them back. And then he'd help me release these things and get them acclimated and release them. But I was the one who had to price them. And he said, the way it works is you take the price that the breeder or the exporter charges us, multiply it by 3, and then take it up to the next 9 cents. So, for example, the zebra danios that we were buying in, we were paying 11 cents a piece for. So that's about, 8 pence? Wow. So I'd take that 11 cents, multiply it by 3, you get 33 cents. So I get the price gun out and bang, zebra danio, 39 cents. So you could buy 3 for just over $1.
Wow.
God knows what you pay for them these days. It's certainly more than that.
Yeah, it's like back in the 90s. Will it have been the 90s? It will have been the 90s. There was wholesalers. I think they're actually still there, the wholesalers. And I went down. I went to the wholesalers on a bit of a cheat, really, to see if we could go in and have a look around, but they wouldn't let you in unless you had a pet license.
Yeah.
But at that time, it will have been the early 90s, because I was looking at opening my own fish shop. And,
yeah.
But fish shop was kind of like totally out of reach, really. It was just a dream. But then I'd come up with this idea of setting up aquariums in like restaurants and old folks' homes and schools, and then renting them out and maintaining them. And there is a company around here now that do that called Aqualease. So someone pinched my idea, really. So I'd gone into this place and they were like, "Oh, you can't come in without a pet license." So I was like, "Well, actually, I want to have a look around, because I'm going to set up a business renting tanks out to restaurants and maintaining them and that. So technically, I wouldn't need a pet license."
Yeah.
So they let me have a look round, and they let me buy. That's when I bought everything I needed for the piranha setup, and it cost me less than £100. It was
They probably,
just, it was scary, like the price of fish, the price of live plants, tanks, external filters. It was like, oh my God, these shops are making an absolute fortune.
yeah.
Because
But
wholesale, cheap,
they've
so
got
cheap.
they've got rent and rates to pay. They've got the water bill. They've got the lights. They've got staff insurance. I mean, it's a mug's game, really. I mean, a high school friend of mine bought that pet shop off my boss. He ran it for about 3 or 4 years and decided to sell it. And a high school friend of mine who replaced me when I left that pet shop, I put his name forward and he got hired. He ended up buying the shop. I talked to him a couple of years ago, and he owned it for 5 years. And I said, "Well, how did it go?" He said, "It was fun." He said, "But it never made a penny." He said it paid the bills, but after you pay the rent and the taxes and insurance and staff and all of this stuff, he said you pretty much break even. He said all it did was take his time. And there's no point being in a business like that. So if somebody can make it work, and it has to be on a pretty large scale, then more power to them. But they have to do it on reputation. They can't go around screwing their customers like what happened to you, because they're going to get no business because ain't nobody going to say good things about them.
No, mate, no, this is it. This is it. And it is a shame with what happened to me, because that shop was phenomenal. It is phenomenal. It is, like, and I'd spent a fortune in that shop, but yeah, it annoys me because it was like, or it is an amazing place to go. It was covered in Practical Fishkeeping magazine a few years ago, and it's like, it's amazing, but the owner just absolute tool,
Yeah.
just a crying shame, because honestly, it was like 20 minutes up the motorway.
Yeah, it's no way to run it. It's no way to run a successful business, though.
No,
Not at all.
and he took to. I'd ended up slating his shop on a Google review, and he bit as well and started arguing with us. But
Yeah.
I was like, look, I've tested your water. I do. That's another thing. Like, you talk about testing your tap water. I regularly test the water that comes out of the shops in the bag. I'll just the pipette in and do a test on it to see what it's throwing out.
Yeah.
I do it regularly. It's probably a bit obsessive, but it's nice to see what them shops are running.
That's actually not a bad idea. If you go into a pet shop, put a packet of test strips in your pocket. And if you're thinking about buying fish out of a tank, pop the lid open, dip the test strip in, and have a look at it.
Yeah.
And if it says bad things, then run like the wind. I hadn't thought of that, but that's a good idea.
Do mate, I test the water in shop, especially if it's a new shop as well.
I got to click on Molly's super chat there and go
Yes,
boom, boom,
Molly,
boom,
thank
party
you so
popper.
much, love. Let me just.
Oh, Molly, you don't have to do that.
Hey, the boss has spoken, mate. The boss has spoken.
You leave that woman unattended, and the mischief she gets up to, I tell you.
I know, mate. I know. Tell you what, though, what a great lady, Molly. Don, you're in the pot, mate.
Thank you, Molly.
What a great lady. I talked to her privately on Discord as well, and yeah, she's awesome. She really is. It's
legend,
mate. Yes. Oh no, came about through Ken gifting memberships. That's how it all came about.
Nice.
And Molly got one, and now every stream, she's in. She supports the channel. She supports me. She's like, we have a chat privately on Discord, and yeah, I couldn't. To be perfectly honest, it's like we are coming up to 12 months of doing live streams, and I could not have even hoped 12 months ago that this is what it brings in. You know, we average between 800 and 1,500 viewers each live.
3.84 thousand subscribers now.
I know, mate. And this
close to
time last
4.
year, I was just hitting 1,000 subs.
Yeah.
And I needed to get my watch hours up. That's all, and that's what I did. And it's a weird one. I'd done a poll: would you watch me doing live streams, doing the maintenance? And
Yeah.
I did it. And then I'd actually booked 2 weeks off work. So I said, you know what, I'll do some live streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the afternoon. And they were popular and got some decent people coming in. And I was like, I think this Saturday I'm going to do an extra long stream because I normally take my mum shopping on a Saturday.
Yeah.
She was going out for the day. So I said, I'll do a 5-hour stream and it should hopefully knock my watch hours up so I get monetized. Will went out for the day, but he kept his laptop on. So I'd clock up the watch hours. And I started realizing then what a group of like such wonderful people were coming in, you know, and like
and
Ken,
it beats the hell out of editing long forms for days to stick up a 20-minute video.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And like, wow, so I would nowhere have thought where like we did a few live streams and I renamed it to Fishkeeper Club, and 12 months down the line, I think it's 11 and a half months ago. I would never have thought it had got to here, Don. You know, such like the amazing people that come in here.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to know any of my deepest, darkest secrets before we hit the top of the hour? Yeah, one last shot. One last shot.
Question for Don. How did you spawn fish back in the day, conditioning and food-wise?
Right, spawning fish back in the day. Right, the Eheim filter, the Eheim canister, had basically a very light green, like monofilament, a wad of it that you'd stick in as part of the filter media. And I had the bright idea of using that for in place of like Java moss. And so I went to the pet shop and ordered some of that, a big bag of that, and it came in, and I just tore it up into clumps and just threw that in the tank. And that's all it took. You turn the lights, you feed them well, feed them well, feed them well. You got a light on a creep up timer in the morning. But these fish were in the basement, so we just had casement windows, so no really direct sunlight coming in. So you get a very slow daybreak in the basement with the breeding tanks, and they just go mad, absolutely berserk. But they were on a regular diet of, like I say, crushed up freeze dried krill and fresh hatched baby brine shrimp and stuff like that. So they were fed very well. Temperatures kept right. Sponge filters or box filters full of floss. We didn't even have sponge filters back then. It was the clear plastic, and you put a little bit of activated carbon. Or I never bothered with that. I just put gravel in the bottom to keep them weighted down. Filter floss in the top. Change those when they get dirty. Suck the crap out of off the bottom of the tank with an airline siphon so you didn't pull too much water out, and let them go. Let them go. And yeah, the bettas, I did the same thing. I just floated a little bit of that monofilament wad at the top of the tank, and he'd bubble nest in there straight away. And that was just in a 2.5 gallon tank. That was a small tank. So
Wow.
what would 2.5 gallons be? That'd be a 10-liter tank.
Molly says, have you ever kept African dwarf frogs?
Have I ever kept
African dwarf frogs?
No. I'm not a reptile person. I had a couple of garter snakes when I was a kid.
Right.
I am tropical fish and dogs.
Yeah, mate. Got to admit, I'm the same. And then last question. Ruben says, "What are your thoughts on goldfish?"
I've kept goldfish. I had a couple of arandas in a 40-gallon long in my bedroom back in the States. Curious creatures, filthy creatures, interesting personalities. But the shabunkins and stuff like that, where they breed them to shorten them and screw up their digestive systems and their intestines and stuff like that. I'm completely against that.
Yeah.
I'm not into glowfish. I'm not into breeding dogs with people faces and some of those bullies you see out there. It's like you see a dog that's got your Uncle Fred's face. I mean, that's frightening.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. I'm the same, mate.
Tell your Uncle Fred, don't shave that beard off, because that dog reminds me of you the way you look right now. It's scary.
What about rams?
I'm not into flower horns. I'm not into flower horns. I don't believe in intentionally crossbreeding fish. I mean, that might happen in nature every now and then, but they're mules. You know, they're fertile. They're infertile, and I just don't think it's fair. Let the fish be the fish.
I agree. I totally agree, mate. Totally agree.
And the only place for arowanas is at the public zoo. Never ever at home.
Yeah, mate. I agree with that as well. I agree with that. And to be honest, it kind of annoys me when I see shops selling them as well, because no one's got the capability to keep an arowana. Really, you know, I don't agree with it. Don't agree with it. It's not good. It's not good. But
we managed to go a whole hour without talking politics. Well done.
I know, mate. That's good. That's good. No, mate. I really appreciate you coming on, and it's good being up with you and having a chat. We'll definitely have to do it again, mate. Yeah. It's, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I did try and keep it a secret. Keeps people in. But no, Don, I really appreciate it, mate. We'll have to. I will return the favor as well whenever you're ready.
Absolutely.
But,
certainly appreciate it, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, mate. Excellent.
Everybody's going to want to see your most mommies. I'll shut up.
Guys, make sure you follow Don as well. Jump onto his YouTube and give him a watch. But Don, it's been a great meeting you, buddy, and hopefully see you Friday if you get a chance to pop in.
Thanks very much.
No problem, mate.
No problem. With me. I enjoyed myself. It was fun.
Good, mate. Thank you. Right, guys, we'll see you all Friday, and don't forget, I've got a new video coming out tomorrow afternoon at 3:15, so be sure to give it a watch. Don, been a pleasure, mate. Take care. See you later, buddy.
Thanks again.